We do not want our allies to be shackled by guilt and shame. We want allies who are proud of their culture and of their heritage, who understand that we are heirs to the same great and noble civilization, and who, together with us, are willing and able to defend it. For we in America have no interest in being polite and orderly caretakers of the West's managed decline.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio on cooperation in Europe, that whole speech you can watch online. Let's get some thoughts on that from Fox News chief political analyst Brit Hume. Brit, good evening. You know, this speech is being applauded in different ways, in different corners, and even by Europeans, even though it has a similar message to the message that Vice President Vance delivered just last year.
That's absolutely right, Brett. And I think the skill or the art of the diplomat is to tell people hard truths and make them like it. As you point out, and as Alex did earlier, the message itself, if you drill down into it, was not altogether different from the very message that J.D. Vance, the vice president, delivered earlier some months back, which was, as you heard the senator from Delaware say, kind of a punch in the mouth. This one earned a standing ovation from the audience, as you saw. So I think it suggests that we now can tell why Marco Rubio is our chief diplomat. He displayed some real diplomatic skill in that speech.
Here's another piece about European allies and the mistakes. Take a listen.
To appease a climate cult, we have imposed energy policies on ourselves that are impoverishing our people. And in a pursuit of a world without borders, we opened our doors to an unprecedented wave of mass migration that threatens the cohesion of our societies, the continuity of our culture, and the future of our people. We made these mistakes together.
It was an us thing. We together. We want to be together. You just have to step up, Europe.
You know, like you can see why that's calm nerves on the other side of the big pond there, Brett, because, you know, these Europeans are worried that this great security blanket that the United States has thrown over the Western world for the past half century and more might have been yanked away from them. The U.S. is not saying that the U.S. doesn't need, that Europe doesn't need to get off its collective butt and go farther than it has to rearm itself and prepare itself for its own defense. But it's now saying it's like a mutual project. The Europeans obviously like that. I think it's a smart message to deliver, and certainly it's been really set in motion, I think, by Vladimir Putin's decision to invade Ukraine, which is to some great extent, even before Marco Rubio and Donald Trump came along, awakened Europe. Europe seems a little more awake these days.
It's always through the prism of politics, and we look to 2028, and you say, is Marco Rubio a candidate? Does the vice president leading in pole position? The vice president did put a X post out Saturday saying this is a great speech, worth watching the whole thing. The other 2028 overtones were these other folks, Democrats in Munich, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and we saw that answer about Taiwan that took a long time. Gavin Newsom and his appearance over there. What do you make of all of that?
Well, I think about AOC this is a woman with some political talent, some political gifts. It's just that knowledge doesn't seem to be one of them. I mean, not only did she stumble around about Taiwan, which is a pretty front and center issue in American foreign policy for somebody with national ambitions not to seem to be able to speak about, she also said that that Venezuela was south of the equator. It's very much north of the equator. That little bit of geography may not seem significant, but it's certainly the kind of thing that someone like her should know about. So I think, she has some schooling remains before she can be taken seriously on the national stage. In the meantime, of course, Gavin Newsom's over there, and he's still going on about the threat of climate change. There may be some Europeans left who think that. There's certainly not as many Americans as there used to be, and I'm not sure that's a winning issue going forward.
Brit, as always, thank you.